Hello everybody, my name is CT-DAX and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're doing a first ever for this channel. We are going to do a review on Warhammer 40k's Space Marine 2. Now, I know it's been a few months since the game's already been out. The reviews, they've already been done. But a little bit of time has passed, the grace period, the honeymoon phase has passed. There's been a lot of patches and updates and changes. How is the game now? That's what we're going to sort of just encapsulate, what the starting experience was to now. And so I'll just go through what the game is and what it's about, and should you even play it. So for this, we're going to divide Space Marine 2 into 3 categories. We're going to go with the story, operations, and PvP. So let's start with the story. The story takes place over 100 years since the first game. And we're back with Titus, our man, the one, the only, voiced by Clive Standen. Rollo. Holy crap, I didn't know this. And we go through his journey of what sort of happened to him after all this time and after things have sort of changed since the first game and how people perceive him. So we start off pretty early on. We go in with Titus. He's with the Death Watch now, who looked so awesome in the beginning. I absolutely adored this. It was great. It just set up the thematic of what this game was going to be about. So you see it all, you get in there, and how quickly everything went to hell, and then try and survive. And it was great. It was glorious. I had so much fun to begin with this, and it was just great. Pretty quickly, it sets the stage of, when it comes to numbers, eventually you just lose. Until we find out a little bit later that Titus is later found. He becomes a Primaris Marine, which is a very dangerous process, and gets himself upgraded. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, and now he has to go back to his chapter, to his brothers, and try and beat back the Tyranid horde. As well as, it's pretty obvious at this point, chaos as well. They're interwoven into this, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But it's this story mode, story-wise, I didn't think the story was 10 out of 10, 100%, the best ever. But it was enough. There was enough story there to keep you going because the world building, the atmosphere, everything around you, the audio, the combat, all that just worked. So during the campaign, we see Titus struggle to. He really struggles to regain his respect from his peers, the brothers around him. They see him, like, oh, that guy's super old. He's been around for a while, but why does everyone treat him like crap? And it's actually, there's enough story there to keep you in. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't the strongest, like I said, but it was serviceable. It worked. But all that being said, there was just cutscenes. Like I said earlier, the cutscenes, the atmosphere, all of it. It looked so good. It was nice to see in high definition, what it's like to be on Space Marines, the big chapter ships, and see the worlds and just how overwhelming the Tyranids can be. And to be honest, we're probably only seeing a pinky of what the Tyranids really are like, which is awesome for future prospects. We could see so much more in the future. I'm really, really, really hoping. And actually, in the same correlation with one of the most recent missions that came out for operations, we get to see more of the Tyranids and the bigger ones, like the Bio Titan. And it was so cool to fight. I actually really enjoyed that. But we'll get to that when we get to operations. So even though the story wasn't the strongest, it had a nice little. It was like an onion. It had many layers. The story's at the center. It had many layers that helped support all this and made it just something truly enjoyable. We also had just a variety of different ins of the story and also in operations and PvP. We also have many classes, weapons, fighting styles. There's enough here to really to keep you going for some time. Just absolutely really enjoyed it. But unfortunately, early on, we do see pretty quickly, at least story-wise, the Tyranids, we get a couple of missions with them, but they tend to start taking a bit of a backseat, which kind of, for me, sucks. I wanted more of that, but we start pushing more towards the Thousand Suns and Chaos and what they're going on and what they're trying to do. And it kind of actually, it's very reminiscent of what the first game was. It's you're dealing with orcs, and then all of a sudden it's Chaos. You're dealing with all their crap, and the orcs kind of take a back seat, and it's just it's not really what we want. You kind of done the same thing again. So, and also at the end of the story as well, small spoiler, it does hint to a third race potentially floating around. We don't see the actual beings themselves, but we see their old homes. So maybe they're still floating around, hopefully, maybe in an operation or something. I doubt it. Maybe a DLC. But truly, the game is just gorgeous. I just loved it. Story-wise, I'm not going to use... for my first review, I'm not going to go with a point scaling. I'm just going to go for the story Are you going to enjoy it whether you're alone or with friends? I'm going to give it a solid A. It's just good. It's fun. I loved it. Now, Operations is a co-op focused mode. You can do it solo, but at higher difficulties, unless you're cracked and you know the best builds and you have everything upgraded, you're going to be hurting. You can do it, but it's difficult. But it's fun, it's rewarding. You definitely want to play it with a few buddies, and you'll actually start taking on, you go out and you start doing these operations, and these are side missions that are actually tied to the main story. So like when Titus is out, fighting a good fight, you actually see when he goes in between missions, there's a group of soldiers he actually refers to, and they're going to go out and do their own things. That's your guys. You're that team doing the operations, which is cool. I like that. It ties everything together, makes it quite nice. So during these 8 operations, you have the Tyranids or the Chaos that you can choose between. Right after, you'll see most people tend to gravitate towards the Tyranids because they're just more fun to fight. They do have the new mission that just came out with Chaos. Really enjoyable. It just looked awesome, tied actually to the end game of the story. So it was really good, really pretty, some new mechanics, very cool. So Operations is definitely fun. Like I was saying earlier, Operations allows you to tap into 6 different classes. And these range from being a badass with a huge melter cannon, just deleting waves of enemies in front of you, to being a more strategic tactical class, where you gotta lock in, like, okay, you see a big bad guy, I'm gonna do the scan on him and he's more vulnerable somehow. And everyone just dump on him and we bring him down even faster, which is great. It offers more tactical play. Like, save your big charges for something when big comes along, So there's a lot of give and take. There's also a class that gives you a grappling hook, so if you want to fly around like Batman and go beat people up, go for it. My personal favorite, though, is the tactical, the bulwark, and the heavy. Like, they're my favorite classes. They just offer such a different variety. A tactical with his scanning and grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is, frankly, it's broken. It's awesome. You got the bulwark with his sword and shield, just deleting everything in front of him. It is so good, and it's satisfying. Just whack, 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 and almost nothing can stand up to you. And then you have the heavy, which is, like the name implies, there's big, heavy guns. You go for it. So also during this time, you can, as you progress through and play these different characters, you begin to unlock different abilities and cosmetics, and pretty soon you start really making the characters a bit more your own. Now, like the perk systems, like for the characters, whatnot, their upgrades aren't the most diverse, but you got a little wiggle room, but it's not the strongest. But there is enough there to sort of, this he's a bit more mine. And then you do the cosmetics, and you really make him want to stand out. Like, this is my dude. He's from this chapter or this legion, and it's cool and it's awesome. So we actually just recently had the Dark Angels pack drop, which is pretty cool. But I do have a small gripe with it personally. They released the Champions pack for the Dark Angels for the Bulwark, which gives him a really cool cosmetic. The big knight, with angel wings helmet. Looks awesome. Can't change the color. I personally hate this. I get why they did it. I just hate it. But it is what it is. So, fingers crossed in the future, at least with the next few packs, we get Space Wolves. Yeah, I'm one of them. I like the Space Wolves. I love their aesthetics, like the furs, the bones, like the big skull on the shoulder. That's cool. So hopefully we get that kind of stuff. We also have a roadmap based on the future of this game that's, or what they have sort of plans for the future as well. We're currently in phase 2. So going into next year, we've got the next 2 more stages coming out. So we have more cosmetics coming, more weapons coming, more missions. So hopefully, we got more coming. So just fingers crossed, like, it's gonna be good. So far, like, they haven't failed yet. Last 2 missions that they released were great. The weapon was kind of but it was there. It was a bit more to pick between. Overall, operations-wise, even though, like, there's the story, there isn't, like, the strongest of stories there. They can be insanely fun, especially with a couple of buddies. We've gotten up to so many antics and crazy things that just sort of happen, and just silly things. So I'm giving Operations a solid S rank. It's fun. You will not regret it. And there's all sorts of challenge. You can just breeze through it and sort of say, take your time, or you can just go God mode and just delete everything. There are options there if you just want to, whatever you're in the mood for or what you have time for. So yeah, solid S rank for Operations. Now, thirdly, we're on to PvP. Now, admittedly, I have not done as much PvP as I probably should. But after I've played enough games to sort of get the feel and the vibe of, like, how it is and how it sort of operates, progression in PvP is slow. I think most people could probably agree to that. Unless your team is just winning after game after game after game, it can drag quite a bit, especially like if you have people just like rage quit, whatnot. All your stuff is like your cosmetic unlocks, they're tied to victories. So you could be losing 20 games in a row, even though you're getting 20 kills. It's a nightmare. It's also too with PvP, a lot of your weapons are actually locked off to a later level, so it could be some time before you get the really fun weapon that you really want to go fight others with. Obviously, there's a bit of you get why like a plasma cannon to the face. Yeah, you probably mince. You don't want that the first time playing PvP. But, you know, it is the progression does feel slow, and when you do finish a mission, the experience you get is quite low. So there's no way to sort of offset that. Like if you want more experience in operations, you just go higher difficulty, you will just get more. But it sadly just doesn't work in this regard. Still fun though. The missions I did do, just running around just with a heavy, naturally with a heavy bolter, and actually pretty easy to get headshots with, and you just have a great time. PvP can also feel very lopsided as well as like many PvP sort of games. Like sometimes if you have your people split off, you can have one guy, and we all know the lone wolf. The lone wolf, either they clean up the whole team, or they feed, and then the whole team just swarms around and deletes you from behind. Like we've all been there. And this sort of game though, if like one or two guys sort of peel off this way, and like the other four go this way, it's very, very difficult to recover. Like if the other team is organized and they just move as a wave, like a wave, they'll just go circle around the map, and it can feel very lopsided, which it can also lead to like people. That's when they quit. When you start losing team members, you're done. Game over. But again, that's like any PvP. It's not a gripe or anything. It's just something to be aware of. So like you take PvP with a grain of salt. But still, it is fun. But for me personally, I prefer the operations. It's too good. So for PvP, in summary, it's fun, can be a bit lopsided, progression's a little bit slow. I'm going to give PvP, unfortunately, for me, it's a bit of a B. You know, it's just, I do enjoy PvP games. I've played many in my many years of gaming. But yeah, it's just, compared to story and operations, it's a little on the weaker side. Hopefully we get some more tweaking and balances and changes in the future. I do know there are some more maps coming for PvP. There's only a couple at the moment. So hopefully pretty soon we'll see some more. But yeah, so far, it's a solid B. Overall, if you just enjoy a good hack and slash for our glorious Emperor and his Imperium, and just having fun with some two other buddies, this game is just a must buy. Like, it's doing so well right now. Many people just adore this game. It is great fun. I'm still playing it now 2 months afterwards. This is great. Everyone who comes into the chat on Twitch, everyone's just like immediately come in for the Emperor. It's like, damn right, we love this. It's good fun. So for the next year, I'm going to be keeping tabs on this game and what's going to be new with it, all sorts of good stuff. Admittedly, the game did have a bit of a bumpy launch. We had some server issues. There was a lot of connectivity issues. I was playing on a console. My buddy was playing on PC. So we were having issues staying connected or getting to. Well, we could connect. Thankfully, it has a good friend system, as opposed to having like friends lists or whatnot. You just put in a code, bam, somebody's in. That's fantastic. We need more of that in our multiplayer games, instead of, oh, I can only be friends with you on Steam, or I can only be friends with you on Xbox, and none of that crap. But yes, that definitely had a bumpy start. You know, some server issues, a bit of balancing issues. So we've had a bit of a few tweaks. You know, the Zangors and their shields, those were annoying for a little while there. It's like you could get through them, but it was a little bit monotonous fighting. Yeah. The birds with shields, you'll see them if for those who haven't. But yeah, still, after 2 months, it's just great fun. There's so many people still enjoying the game, playing the game. You jump in, you queue quick match, you'll always find somebody playing. It is just great. Ultimately, this game being my first review, I was debating with the numbers, score system, all that kind of stuff. But in total, I'm going to give Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2, an S rank. I know, I realize for my first review, I'm putting the bar way up here. Like, and there's probably going to be a lot of people who don't agree, but like, just for me personally, that S rank doesn't mean the game is perfect. For me, and the kind of score I'm going with is like, how fun is this game, and are you going to have fun? For the vast majority of us, S. Hell yes. Get it, buy it, play it. Get some buddies, you're going to love this game. And like I said earlier, you may disagree with my scoring or what I sort of think of this. Like, again, first review. But also, like, this type of gameplay and just how fun it felt. It felt like the return of the old guard. You know, you remember, like, sit with your buddies at couch gaming way back when. And you just have fun with a mindless hack and slash or any puzzle game, whatever it was, racing. You just going for it, and it was fun. You felt like you got your money's worth, your time. The entire time we played through the entire story and operations, nothing but smiles. Even during the main story itself, as especially got to the end, my face was hurting. I was smiling that much and playing with my buddies. It was just so worth it. And then we also have the added beauty as well. This game is not filled to the brim with 10,000 bloody microtransactions. Yes, they have a little battle pass system, but that's just extra. Like, if you really want to get like the extra cosmetics, or you either get the battle pass, or you just buy them separate, or don't buy them at all. And they still get plenty of cosmetics for you that they give full free. There's just a little bit extra if you want to help keep the lights on for them. Like, which I approve of that. Like, great, better than what a lot of other games are doing. Apex. But that's it for this one, guys. I really hope you sort of enjoyed this. It's a bit of a short review. You know, like I said, it's the first one. We're dipping our toes into the water. I really enjoyed this game. It was just top of the line, absolute fun. S rank for me. Yes, it has issues. Yes, had a lot of problems at the start. To be honest, what game doesn't these days? But they recovered. They've listened. They've still got more stuff coming. They've got a roadmap. They're engaging with the community. It's great. And then the community that's playing the game, everyone's just like a solid, just hell yes for the Emperor. Let's just get in there. So me personally, I really hope like this company, they continue with this trend. They keep making these games. They keep bringing in other versions. Like, personally, Space Marines are cool, but I would like to see them, like, for their next game, can we get some of the other races? Like, I would love an Eldar game. That'd be cool. Or Necron, 3-player Necron game. That could be interesting. We could go fight with Trazen. Or even, yeah, even though it's been like many years, yeah, another Tau game, I wouldn't say no. You put us in a suit, make us like Armored Core. You would give it a whirl, I'd be down for it. But yeah, sky's the limit. So, like, hopefully, yeah, they continue on this trend. I'm just hoping we don't stay stuck to Space Marines. I know that they're the most popular of all the 40k universe, but it's just like, bring in some others. Let's spread out a little bit and see what sticks the best. That's my personal hopes for the game, and this game and its series and its future. Like, hopefully, yeah, we get some spin-offs of, you know, the others. So we'll wait and see on that one. But yeah, so thank you very much to everyone for watching this video. Greatly appreciate it as always. If you just want to find me on Twitch or other social medias, it'll all be down in the description. Love you all. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week. They were just coming up on the Christmas as well. So hope you enjoy your Christmas and your New Year. Don't do it too crazy. I'll catch you all on the next one. Turtles. Ooh.
Detonation complete.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting back up from that.
Yeah, I think you got him. Holy shit.
Yeah, do you think he's dead?
Just a bit.
New objective, find the Hive Tyrant.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not dead. What?